At this time, the blue-haired girl in the hotel felt a little depressed when she saw so many women around me. After watching the video, she marveled at how strong I am. I actually instantly killed the level 10 boss. And the few people beside me, after my guidance, also showed highly skilled combat techniques. At this moment, she really wishes she could be with me and receive my guidance. But some people have a different opinion. Although those girls have decent strength, their practical combat experience is lacking. They are looking forward to the moment when I take action, hoping to learn something from it. Some people also say that I am not that strong, it's just luck. Meanwhile, the teammate beside him immediately denied his statement. Although he is an S-rank talent, he cannot kill the boss in one hit. On the other side, inside Sister Purple's villa, I instructed her to establish economic and equipment trading as soon as possible. After all, everyone will receive some low-level equipment after clearing the sewer dungeon. Next, I took out the equipment I dropped. I will hand over all these things to you. You should be able to see the importance of these things yourself. When Purple Jade's Song saw these items, her eyes widened instantly. The first item is called Flesh Wall, which is a wall material that can consume flesh and blood to grow stronger. It is not only stronger than any existing wall material, but also has a powerful potential if utilized well. The second item is a Town Portal Scroll. It only takes 10 seconds to cast, and can teleport you back to a designated city. Seeing this item, Purple Jade Song exclaimed, "With this, I can definitely become the sole ruler of River City in a short amount of time." When seeing the third item, Purple Jade Song looked embarrassed. Its effect is to improve body shape and can transform into any appearance of equipment. Seeing her expression, I asked, "What? Do you think this one is less important compared to the first two?" Upon hearing this, Purple Jade Song quickly denied. "How could that be? You are the master of all. The equipment that pleases you is the most important here." Looking at the enthusiastic Sister Purple, I said, "I don't know much about women's attire. Could you bring me some surprises?" Purple Jade Song looked shy. "There are surprises, but not from me. I promise to let Little Riversong officially meet you. After saying that, I'm going to dress up Riversong's song nicely." Time quickly came to night. I appeared in the bedroom of Purple Jade's Song, holding the leopard lady who had fallen into a deep sleep. On her 10-meter bed. Not only Riversong, but also the others were all asleep here. After a chaotic and exhausting battle, I got up and put on the plague robe, completing 2 pieces of the plague set now. If I have 3 chances to drop an equipment every day, I will be able to collect a full set of equipment after 3 days. I received an invitation from someone named Dreamer in the chat group at this time. She mentioned that she had watched the strategy videos I posted and hoped to receive my guidance. I replied that if specific guidance is needed, I would require some understanding of her. Even if she doesn't want to disclose her talent, sharing her attributes would suffice. To improve combat abilities, Dreamer immediately expressed willingness upon seeing my response. In my previous life, I had never heard of Dreamer. But considering that everyone in the group should at least be a pioneer, her talent should be good. When I saw her talent, I was shocked for a full 2.5 seconds. The talent of Dreamer is unexpectedly an SSS rank supernatural ability that can grow infinitely. A person with such talent is definitely not unknown. Presumably, in her past life, she must have met an early demise. Dreamer then informed me of the effects of Dreamer's ability. Dream Butterfly has the ability to enter the same dream world as the real world as well as enter other people's dreams. Dreamweaving can adjust anything in the dream world. However, currently she can adjust relatively few things. The effect of Same Dream is to create dream totems, inviting others into one's own dream world. After reading Dreamer's ability, I didn't expect her talent to be so powerful. However, a prerequisite is that her physical body cannot be found. Dreamer is preparing to send me a dream totem in the form of a picture. After all, there is no guarantee for me when I'm in her dream. At this point, the Dreamer stated that they can sign an Evolver contract with me, promising not to take any harmful actions towards me. Upon hearing about the Evolver contract, a cosmic well-recognized contract would require at least 10 gold. I don't understand why they would come to me for advice if they really have so much money. At this point, the dreamer explains that they killed monsters in the dream world, and they would also die in reality. They can also adjust the monster drop rates in the dream world through dream weaving. Then she took out 2 skill books as a reward. Seeing this, I couldn't help but sigh. The dreamer's talent ability is no less than that of my own the Virus King. Later, Dreamer explained that although she is strong in dreams, she is very weak in reality. She also has a strong premonition that if she cannot improve her combat skills, she will die sooner or later. I fully agree with this analysis of Dreamer. After all, this ability does not improve physical fitness in any way. Then I asked her to send the formulated Evolver contract. Since she is willing to sign the contract, I have no reason to refuse. Moreover, with such a powerful talent, I must recruit her to work for me. Dreamer soon sent the contract. If it is violated, she will lose the identity of Evolver. Then I returned to the bedroom. Dreamer's dream totem needed to be relaxed and gazed at for 3 minutes. If the viewer is cautious, it will take longer. Then she set over the dream totem she had prepared. At this moment, I thought to myself, if her ability evolves to the point of seeing into dreams, I can't believe how terrifying it would be. Soon, I entered the dreamland through the totem of dreams. Upon closing my eyes again, I found myself in a strange and unfamiliar environment. In front of me stood a girl with pink hair. Hello, group owner Boss White. I am Dreamer who just signed a contract with you. After a round of mutual introductions, I expressed that this place is not suitable for combat training. At this moment, Dreamer put down the doll in his hand and said, "Not training here." Then she opened a portal, indicating that she had cleared a stadium by herself. I was somewhat shocked when I saw the scene inside. I was surprised to find out that Dreamer's dream space is so vast, and the sports arena she mentioned is located in a corner of the city. But Dreamer told me that this place does not belong to her personally. Instead, it is an independent dream world. As a dream walker, she can only enter and transform it. Based on her exploration these days, she feels that the dream world should be reflected in the real world. Facing the unknown ability has also given me a new understanding. Then I entered the portal with Dreamer, heading towards that dream world. Later, I arrived in a pitch-black sports arena. Dreamer said, "Let there be light." As soon as the words fell, the once pitch-black basketball court became bright. But I found her command a bit adolescent. Dreamer then claimed that before Doomsday arrived, she was a novelist. Then I told her that if she wanted to enhance her fighting ability in the real world, the best way was to engage in combat. I asked her not to use her abilities from the dream world to attack me, so that I could assess Dreamer's current combat level. At this point, Dreamer mentioned that her attributes in the dream world would all increase to be equal to her mental power, which is 48 points. Be careful. Even though the group leader, Boss, doesn't seem serious, he still instructed Dreamer to go all out. At this moment, I saw Dreamer clenching his fist, sprinting towards me. However, I just made a casual dodge and easily avoided it. Your balance is unstable, able to release but not to recover. Upon hearing my comment, Dreamer suddenly felt a little embarrassed. She then started throwing punches wildly, but didn't manage to land a single hit on me. Seeing this, I couldn't help but joke. Is this what they call the Fist of 5 Years from the legendary joking Turtle Fist? Later, I began to guide while dodging. First, control your center of gravity. The punch that you can't bring back after throwing it out is the weakest. Secondly, lock onto the target. You need to know where you want to hit instead of randomly striking. Thirdly, observe your opponent. Don't just focus on your own blind attacks. After observing for a while, I also have a clear understanding of Dreamer's current level. Let her remember these 3 points first. Tell her that I only used about 20% of my speed just now. With her abilities, she can easily catch up. After hearing my words, Dreamer looked a bit embarrassed. But I told her there's no need to apologize. As long as she practices hard, she can do better. With my guidance, Dreamer now has a clear direction for efforts. She said she will definitely practice hard. 3.5 days later, Purple Jade's song reported to me. The rules of East Mountain have all been posted, and someone will be responsible for explaining them in front of each bulletin board. In this way, the residential area of East Mountain can be considered on the right track. During these days, I have also cleaned up the area near East Mountain. The management here will be handed over to you all. I will leave early tomorrow. Upon hearing this, Purple Jade's song was somewhat surprised. Are you leaving already? I thought you would stay a few more days. After all, you are still missing one piece of your plague set. But for me, I don't have time to wait for a piece of E-rank set. After all, there are far more precious opportunities and treasures outside than it. This is when Purple Jade's song urged me to come back soon. Otherwise, if your White Emperor Palace floods, there will be no one to manage it. Upon hearing this, I asked Purple Jade's song to gather everyone. Tonight, we will discuss a plan to block the outlet to prevent the flooding. After a night of joyful damage per second, I successfully solved this serious problem. This scene, this YouTuber still skipped for you. The time came to the next morning. The Purple Jade song group is still snoring and grinding their teeth. And I got up early and dressed. At this time, someone had been waiting outside the house for a long time. She said she had come to see me about something. It was said that there was a disturbance in the settlement at the foot of the mountain. But I don't understand why they still have to come to me to report such trivial matters. The rules for East Mountain have already been set. Don't you know how to handle things according to the rules? The girl said that the man had been restrained. But someone said he's your classmate, so we didn't dare to act rashly. Upon hearing this, I immediately asked her to lead the way. I'd like to see which classmate is so defiant. After a moment, I arrived at the settlement at the foot of East Mountain Villa District. One person quickly pointed at me and shouted, "White Chen is here!" The girl indicated that these people are dissatisfied with a daily fee of 1 copper. They want to enjoy security and live in the settlement without spending money and without paying any cost. The person hurriedly said upon seeing my arrival that he is Chen Li, and I have also heard of this person. Our rules are not strict. A copper only needs to kill 1 zombie to be enough. Even if you can't kill, there are still jobs to earn money in this settlement. Why do you want to cause trouble with a group of people? He said it's not about the amount of money. This is where you are wrong. When doomsday comes, we should watch over and help each other. You should use your resources now to help everyone get through this difficult time. Please listen to the advice from me, the Student Council President. When you succeed, benefit the world. If you can cancel this rule, everyone will appreciate you. I can't be bothered to talk nonsense with such people. Everyone listen up. This is the rule here. If you can't accept it, get out right away. If you're still here 3 minutes later, you will be dealt with severely. This is the rule here. If you can't accept it, get lost immediately. I'll have Frozen start the timer next. Chen Li sneered at my words. There's no need for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. I absolutely won't leave. I am working for the benefit of everyone. They will support and appreciate me. The security personnel became very angry at the words. Stop talking nonsense here. 1 copper is not a burden for anyone here. Those unwilling to contribute are either useless or selfish. We will not protect these 2 kinds of people. The security personnel started to curse one after another. Can't even kill 1 zombie in a day. What are you if not useless? Since you can't even earn 1 copper, why not come to my house to be a guard dog? I'll pay you 2 copper. This immediately left Chen Li speechless. His face looked as ugly as if he had eaten feces. Just leave. I'm not willing to join this ghostly place. You wait for me. You will regret driving me away. As soon as I heard his words, I immediately spoke up and said, Wait a minute. Chen Li thought I regretted it so soon. In the next second, I saw my right hand transform into a sharp claw. I directly swung towards his waist to chop. Those who witnessed this scene showed expressions of disbelief. The others were so scared by the situation that they knelt down on the ground one after another. They never expected that I would take action against Chen. I shook the bloodstains off my claws. You are right. Letting a worthless person who resents me act arrogant and then run away. I will indeed regret it. At this time, Frozen reminded a few people. There is 1 minute left. Are you not leaving yet? Upon seeing this, one person immediately kneeled down and begged for mercy. I am willing to abide by the rules here. I am willing to accept the punishment for the trouble caused to the settlement. Please give me a chance. I am not an unreasonable person. You are a smart person. 5 copper will return to normal after a month. Then the rest of the people also started kowtowing and begging for mercy. We are also willing. Please give us a chance. After that, I entrusted the remaining matters to Frozen for handling. When I had just taken a few steps, I suddenly received a message from Dreamer. She complained to me that it's so difficult to improve her abilities in reality. She said when she has the ability, she will definitely come find me. Upon learning that I am in River City, and Dreamer is nearby in Wuchang. At this point, I expressed that if you are willing to follow me, I can come pick you up. Reflecting on the previous life, I was actually in Wuchang completing an S-rank professional task. Although it's not SSS rank, it can still be used as leverage to exchange for some needed resources or information. So I decided to go to Wuchang first. At a hotel in a certain place in River City, several people are hiding and surviving in the room. The remaining food can only last for 3 more days. At this moment, Liu Pingjiang complained. It's all because of that darn special zombie that not only easily killed 5 of them, but also has extremely keen senses. As long as someone goes down to the 10th floor, they will be noticed. Not to mention trying to escape from the back door. Several people who have no way out are falling into despair. It seems we are going to be trapped here. Suddenly, the girl behind the 2 of them reminded, Look over there! Only to see the top of the city's buildings. A black shadow appeared and was moving quickly. Seeing this, Liu Pingjiang felt a little uneasy. What else could it be? I can only see a blur. It wouldn't be a new type of special zombie, would it? Seeing the black shadow dashing across rooftops and walls, Liu Pingjiang felt it was too dangerous and prepared to pull the curtains. At this moment, Shi Weiwei told him not to worry. She felt that it seemed to be a human. But several people did not believe that humans could have this kind of ability. Shi Weiwei then continued, It will definitely not be wrong. Don't forget about my ability. Suddenly, Shi Weiwei noticed that figure approaching their group. Due to my low position, I was instantly detected by the mutant zombies on the street. When I saw that it was a tyrant, I was somewhat excited. What an unexpected gain. There happens to be a gear design that requires the bones of a tyrant. I was thinking of directly smashing it with a huge hammer, but this would affect both the drop rate and integrity of the tyrant's bones. Later, I transformed into Claw and felt that beheading would be better. I then quickly fell towards the position of tyrant. At this time, a group of people were observing all this from upstairs. However, they couldn't see clearly due to the distance. Only Shi Weiwei, who possessed the ability, was shocked by the scene before him. They started fighting. That person transformed, growing a pair of claws. Upon hearing this, Liu Pingjiang was even more certain that it was a monster. How could a normal human grow a pair of claws? Suddenly, Shi Weiwei witnessed a surprising scene. That person actually killed the monster. It seemed like he was even absorbing the monster. At this moment, I have absorbed Tyrant completely. Darklight Virus has once again acquired a new form, Muscle Enhancement, and a new form of shield. Muscle Enhancement can strengthen any part without affecting the body shape and causing inconvenience, unlike other forms. And the shield's defensive power is approximately twice as strong as my own. Next, Shi Weiwei saw an unbelievable scene. I saw the man's face. She found out it was me. She started calling my name incessantly. When I heard someone calling my name, I looked up. but when I looked up, I didn't see anything. Liu Pingjiang quickly stopped Shi Wei. How can you be so sure that person is someone you know? What if he's a monster in disguise? The girl beside them chimed in. That's right. He easily defeated the monster that had been blocking us for so long. If you want to die, don't drag us into it. A dark shadow suddenly appeared outside the window. Is there anyone inside? It asked. Were you calling me just now? After hearing my voice, Shi Wei quickly responded. Yes, it's me. I am Shi Wei. At this moment, I am hanging from the top of a tall building. It turns out it's Miss Riversong Song's good friend. I thought it was someone else. Upon hearing Riversong's name, Shi Wei quickly asked me about Riversong Song's recent situation. Is she doing well now? Shortly after, I entered the room where they lived and informed them that I had established a settlement in the East Mountain Villa area. There are now probably hundreds of people living there. Purple Jade Song helps me manage the settlement, so Riversong is very safe now. Shi Wei appeared very happy upon hearing my words. But the others completely do not believe. What settlement still has hundreds of people? What's even harder to accept is that River City Queen helped me manage. You're not bragging, are you, buddy? But I didn't explain to the others. You'll know when you go. I wouldn't tell such an easily exposed lie. At this moment, the door of the room suddenly opened. When I saw that the visitor was actually my college classmate, I was very surprised to see him here. There are two other roommates behind him. They just heard someone calling my name. They were particularly excited to see me. I am also very curious about how they all ended up here. At that time, Shi Lin was telling me that it was on the day of their arrival. Liu Pingjiang went to support Shi Wei, the school beauty, at work, and brought many students along to have fun. At this moment, Mu Zhao said that he originally wanted to invite me to go together. However, Feng Li thought that I must be busy with something and couldn't make it. Then I asked them if many students from River University are there. If they are willing, they can go to the settlement area in the East Mountain Villa district. However, there is a rule in the settlement area that requires turning in a copper coin daily. I don't know if you can accept that. After all, I don't want to see the same thing happen again as last time. Upon hearing this, several people replied that they could accept it. They mentioned that if they weren't blocked by the monster, they could potentially earn not only copper, but also gold. However, they also realized that the road to the settlement area was very dangerous. They hoped that I could lead them there together. I replied that I had other things to do. Moreover, throughout the journey from East Mountain, this tyrant was the only one they encountered. It wasn't until then that they realized their misfortune and understood that this tyrant was not a common monster. Then, I took out a lot of equipment that I didn't need. They were very surprised when they saw my handwriting. These are low-level equipment that I no longer need. You can choose any of them freely. Then I told a few people that I had urgent matters to attend to and needed to hit the road. Since you already know the location of the settlement, I'll leave first. Then I waved goodbye to a few old classmates and left. Later, I continued to shuttle through the city like Spider-Man. Suddenly, Dreamer requested to chat with me. She mentioned that there was a person named Yorhan King in the group who was expressing distress, and she felt that her new ability could help him. In response, I asked her to directly tell me the situation. After all, with so many people in the group, it's hard to keep up with all the messages. The name Yorhan King reminded me of Ismail Han. At this moment, on the other side, inside the hotel, they are preparing to go to the settlement I mentioned. A place with more revolvers and still very safe is very important to them. But we need to prepare before we go. After all, this journey will take us across River City. At this moment, Feng Li pushed his glasses up and seemed to want to say something. Suddenly, everyone's gaze turned towards the window. My appearance interrupted their discussion. Why did you come back again? Shi Wei quickly approached and asked if there was anything wrong. I told her that I needed a room to handle some matters. Upon hearing this, Mu Zhao immediately said, "Come to Qijing's in my room." Then, I and the two of them left. I said that I needed some time alone. The two of them were more than willing to stay in the living room and watch over me. At this moment, Wei suddenly thought of something and quickly followed to call me back. I just forgot to ask you. Do you know Song's evolver number? I want to add her as a friend. At this time, they both want to add me as well. What is your number? But when I said 001, Chen completely didn't believe it. He couldn't help but start mocking me. We are all evolvers. How come your dark humor hasn't evolved at all? At this time, Mu Xiao behind him quickly patted his shoulder. Chen, you'll know once you join. When he saw Evolver White number 001 agree to the friend request, he was shocked as if struck by lightning, showing an incredulous expression. I returned to the room a moment later. They were discussing in the living room about how powerful my number is. He said it was the order of becoming an evolver, indicating that he was the first one to become an evolver. At this point, Mu Xiao remembered the message I posted in the group before. The school moved the physical fitness test to the middle of June that time, causing them to exercise diligently for over a week for nothing. Chen suddenly thought of something. Are you saying he already knew about the end of days at that time? It could also be a coincidence. However, we did benefit from the exercise, didn't we? It seems that I knew all this before the doomsday arrived. At this moment, Qilin looked to the side and noticed that Wei's face suddenly turned unusually red. She then hurriedly walked out of the room to show that she was fine. And she reminded the two not to forget my instructions. Absolutely do not enter my room. Then Wei closed the door heavily. But after she went out, the blush remained on her face, showing a very shy expression. It turns out that Wei was just chatting with Riversong's. Riversong's inexplicable words made her feel a little at a loss. She didn't understand why her good old friend would say such things. When Wei thought about the imaginary scene, her face suddenly turned red. Could it be the same as what I'm thinking? Could it be not only little Riversong, but everyone together? When Wei thought of this, she didn't know how to face it. She wasn't sure if she was excited or shy. A conversation beside her interrupted her thoughts. It was Feng Li and Liu Pingjiang. He thinks my words are completely unbelievable. There are too many loopholes in what I said. After Feng Li's analysis, Liu Pingjiang also found it unbelievable, saying that Purple Jade's song helped him manage the settlement. It sounds like a tall tale no matter how you listen to it. Feng Li, who heard this, had a smug look on his face. However, all of this was seen by Wei behind them. On the other side, I successfully entered the dream world, explaining that I was a bit busy in the real world, which caused a delay and made me arrive late. When I arrived at the demonic capital in the dream space at Ismail Han's house, I saw that they had been waiting for quite some time, with just me missing. Dreamer and two other people were at home waiting for me. I was meeting the other two for the first time, apart from Dreamer. Finally I see you, White Emperor. I am Ismail Han. I knew you must be very handsome. I didn't expect you to be even more handsome than I imagined. Ismail Han Dreamer quickly started to tease the flatterer. Another person named Draven said that his talent is SS rank embodiment of fear because Dreamer said he could bring along an additional teammate. So Draven came here to make up the numbers. After listening to Dreamer and Draven's introductions, Ismail Han realized that although he is S rank, his S rank mental control now became the weakest among them here. At this time I said, although your talent is lacking, you are quite lucky. If you had encountered this kind of difficulty a few days ago, Dreamer would not have been able to help you. Because at that time, Dreamer could only pull us into the dream world within her own space. Using the dream totem she gave you as the core, it will enable everyone to come to your house. Ability. This ability was actually just learned by Dreamer yesterday. After hearing what I said, the disheartened Ismail Han instantly became optimistic. In fact, my luck has always been quite good. Then I asked him to quickly explain the reason for complaining in the group. After all, Dreamer can only maintain 4 people. The time spent in the dream world is not abundant. Then Ismail Han mentioned that it was an exclusive task in the dungeon, and said the location was not close while walking. And Ismail Han's task is an S-rank exclusive mission. The next line of people arrived at the teleportation point of the dungeon. This is the Red Star Mental Hospital. When I found it, it had already become a dungeon that I had entered before. But I quickly gave up and came out. The level 5 to 12 nightmare difficulty fiend inside was just too much for me to handle alone. There was no way to wait until I leveled up before coming back. Because right after I gave up the dungeon for the first time, Cosmic Will suggested that someone had noticed my arrival. They might take everything and leave this place. After listening to Ismail Han's question, I immediately thought of a solution. Next, I opened the dungeon teleportation gate and chose to enter the Red Star Mental Hospital. Afterwards, our group entered the dungeon and arrived at the dream space of the demonic capital Red Star Mental Hospital. Just as we arrived at the hospital, a few people noticed a small monster. However, the dreamer felt that something was not right here. Ismail Han reminded everyone that the monsters at the beginning of the dungeon were not weak and should not be underestimated. At that moment, a monster orderly limped over, wailing continuously towards us. Upon seeing this, Draven wanted to take action. Hold on, everyone. Let me try the strength of this little monster. The caregiver, who suddenly couldn't walk steadily, suddenly rushed towards Draven. Draven remained completely calm upon seeing this. He then activated his SS rank talent to summon the incarnation of fear. A huge scarecrow suddenly appeared behind him. The small monsters who witnessed this scene were instantly scared to the ground by the sight. A look of panic filled her entire face. At this moment, her heart also began to feel unusual. Just as the next second, Draven snapped his fingers, activating fear mode, self-destruct. The heart of the little monster suddenly exploded. At this moment, the panel prompts that a teammate has killed the caretaker. Experience is shared. After seeing Draven's ability, Dreamer explained that it is simply the ability of an antagonist boss, while Ismail Han was left speechless. This is too powerful, right? I also think that this talent is indeed not bad. At this moment, Draven discovered that he actually drew a skill card. Everyone's luck is pretty good, huh? Its effect belongs to mental power. It's just right for Ismail Han and Dreamer. Upon hearing this, Ismail Han immediately declined. I don't want it. I only want items related to exclusive missions. Besides, my talent already has a similar skill. Seeing this, Dreamer was also not polite. Then I won't hold back either. Dreamer took the skill card and started learning the new skill. A prompt then showed that the skill, Shrill Mind Blast, had been learned. At this point, I asked Dreamer to use this skill immediately. Hearing this, Dreamer was somewhat puzzled. The skill has a limited attack range, but a wide sound range. If used, it may attract monsters even from other rooms. And what I want is precisely the aggro-pulling function of this skill. Otherwise, it would be too troublesome to search for them one by one. And I assured Dreamer that there would be no unexpected occurrences. After listening to me, Dreamer immediately activated the skill Shrill Mind Blast as I directed. Suddenly, many monsters appeared around the originally empty surroundings. Some monsters even leaped down directly from the tall buildings. All the monsters in the dungeon were attracted by the skill. As I witnessed this scene, I couldn't help but sigh. This monster attracting effect is really good. Upon seeing this scene, Ismail Han suddenly panicked. There are too many monsters in this dungeon, aren't there? Even Draven, who can one-shot monsters, reminded everyone to be cautious. Everyone must not let their guard down. Dreamer, who saw so many monsters, also felt worried. Sherfu, are so many monsters really okay? I am confident in the face of everyone's concerns. Of course, it's not a problem. It just so happens that I can use them to test out my newly upgraded skills. After hearing what I said, Ismail Han immediately became confident. The group leader boss said so. Then I can rest assured. Let's start the fight. He summoned countless flying knives out of thin air. He attacked the monsters that were approaching. Every knife landed precisely on the monster's vital points. On the other side, Draven cast his skill, Source of Fear. Suddenly, the ground was covered in darkness. Monsters are instantly dealt with by countless black tentacles from Darkness Strangle. At this moment, Dreamer somehow pulls out a rocket launcher. Seeing the silly Dreamer acting so fierce, the two people behind him were momentarily dumbfounded. Isn't the ability of this dream creature too abnormal? It can even conjure up a rocket launcher. Won't the Dreamer boss be able to create a Gundam in the future? At this moment, the Dreamer is also having a blast bombing the monsters continuously. At this moment, Draven turned around and noticed something unusual. They were all using their skills to kill monsters. I don't understand why I hesitated and didn't attack. Because I am currently charging up. I didn't expect it to be so slow the first time I used it. It seems difficult to fully charge up during the battle again. With the cover of the three people, my charging up was quickly completed. At this moment, I raised both hands high and fiercely smashed towards the ground, initiating skill charge Earth Spike. Suddenly, the flat ground cracked open. Countless black spikes emerged from the ground and pierced through the monster directly. Ismail Han, who witnessed this scene, was so shocked that he couldn't close his mouth. He didn't expect the power of my move to be so exaggerated. It instantly killed all the attacking monsters. The three of them were astonished by my move and couldn't come back to their senses for a long time. A skill that killed all those monsters. Just as I was about to leave, there were still two leftover monsters behind me. Ismail Han, who saw the scene, was a little nervous. There are two more monsters left, let me finish them off. With that, he directly threw out the summoned flying knives. However, Ismail Han's attack was easily blocked by me. Later, it was indicated that these two guards were small boss monsters that I deliberately left behind. Seeing that his attack was caught by me with just one hand, Ismail Han found it somewhat hard to accept for a moment. He hadn't expected that the gap between individuals could be so significant. At this moment, I remembered that I have the ability of devouring evolution, which grants me a chance to obtain any skill from the opponent. I can also view the memories of the target. However, I haven't used this skill much since obtaining it in the early stages of my Doomsday. But when I looked at the memories, I found a surprising scene. What exactly is the magic array on this person's body? Also, a living person is tied to a cross. It seems like some kind of ceremony is taking place. A dim and eerie scene. Surrounding it, there are constantly dismal screams. Suddenly, two figures appeared in the scene. Don't come over. Please don't come over. Nurse Leader Kong, please calm down. And there are many similar crosses around. After a scream, the scene changes again. Is this scaring you crazy? The mental toughness is really poor. I was thinking of offering you to the master. What a pity. The crazy woman can only be the sacrifice for next month. The scene changes again. Nurse Leader Wang, don't be too sad. Everyone is not accepting you because of Nurse Leader Kang's matter. I know, I also really like Nurse Leader Kong. Such a good person and so beautiful. Why did she suddenly go crazy? Suddenly, a voice kept coming from all around, continuously shouting, 16. At this point, based on the demon's formation and the continuous appearance of 16, two clues suddenly reminded me of something. When I was still a demon hunter in my previous life, I heard about a mental hospital dungeon in the demonic capital related to demons. It was even possible to summon demons to descend. Unfortunately, my level had long surpassed the dungeon restriction at that time, so I only glanced at the relevant posts on the Evolver forum. I didn't pay much attention to it afterwards. I then said that we can go look for clues for Ismail Han's exclusive mission. Everyone must be careful and not get separated. I didn't remind a few people here. It is very likely that there will be quite powerful creatures present. 2.5 hours later. It is already evening. All the monsters in this building have been lured out, right? It's been so long, and we haven't seen a single one. We've searched 3 floors already. We have no clues at all. The only discovery we've made is that the number 16 appears very frequently here. Draven was getting a little impatient at this point. Whether it's 16 or 18, I just want to know why the dungeon boss hasn't shown any movement yet. Could it be scared off by the White Emperor and afraid to show up? Suddenly a voice came from the dark corridor ahead. Young man, you are a bit too arrogant and presumptuous. The few people who heard the sound immediately adopted a fighting stance. Who's there? Come out now. At this moment, a strange creature emerged from the eerie darkness. I am the director of the Red Star Mental Hospital, also known as the 72 Demon Princes of Solomon, the 16th Demon Messenger of Jephi. Several people only then realized that the monster in front of them was actually a demon or a demon messenger. Little children. Pretending to be calm has no effect at all. Becoming the sacrifice of my master is your only outcome. If that girl is willing to serve my master faithfully, you can bear offspring for my master. I can spare you from death. Upon hearing the monster's words, Dreamer immediately became anxious. You old monster, dreaming of having children, you should go and give birth to children for your master yourself. You are just a low-level devil transformed from a human being. You are too arrogant and self-important. If you really have the ability, then show us what you've got. Don't just spout nonsense to be funny.